Live from ABC 7, this is Eyewitness News at 7 p.m. on LA 56.
Warm, dry weather and gusty winds sweep across the Southland. Jonathan Novak has the latest on the conditions.
Another wild police pursuit. This driver ramming into gates before the chase ends in a standoff with the suspect taking his own life.
And taking a new hard line against ISIS, President Obama sends his war powers request to Congress. The president says the Islamic State is going to lose. Good evening. I'm Rutabe Shabazi in for Colleen Sullivan.
Now, David Ona, welcome to Eyewitness News at LA 56, LA's only live local newscast at 7 p.m. The calendar says February, but it feels more like summer. Gusty Santa Ana winds are howling across much of Southern California. Inland Empire Bureau Chief Rob McMillan has the latest on this unseasonably warm and dry weather.
We're used to the Santa Ana winds blowing through Southern California in October and November, but not so much in February. And at a time when all we want is rain and snow, we're having to settle for wind.
Yesterday it wasn't as bad as it is today. It's gotten a lot worse.
And it made for a tough drive on freeways like the 15.
Well, the car shakes. And the freeway, yeah, it's worse on the freeway, but you gotta live somewhere.
Not only is it windy, but very warm as well.
It was 89 degrees on my temperature in my car.
Tony Senecal bought a new puppy on Craigslist and had to come out to Fontana to pick him up.
I'm from Lakewood, just out here picking up a puppy, and wow, this is crazy.
She says she had no idea she'd be driving through a wind tunnel to get here.
Yeah, it's really windy. Don't stand too close to the freeway, you get blown over.
But while one puppy now has a new home, another is looking for his current one, perhaps because of the wind.
Yeah, we see a lot of fences blow down. Dogs get out all the time. You know, sometimes big ones, of course, the little ones like this, you know.
Javier Pinedo with the Fontana Water Company was driving through town today when he came across this little guy and stopped to help.
Yeah, I mean, I wouldn't mind finding a home for him. We're kind of actually thinking about getting a dog, but I'm sure he has an owner somewhere.
Fortunately, we're not in any kind of red flag situation, so no extreme fire danger to speak of right now. However, still very windy out here in Fontana. Rob McMillan, ABC 7 Eyewitness News.
And it's not over yet. Winds are still coming. Here's Jonathan Novak.
Yeah, David, folks, we still have those wind advisories in effect for portions of LA and Ventura County through tomorrow afternoon, and a high wind warning in the rest of the area for the San Bernardino and Riverside County valleys and the mountain locations through the passes all the way through Friday morning. That means winds of 45 for gusts around LA and Ventura County expected through tomorrow morning. Actually, we'll have another round of it tomorrow morning. And also 55, 60-plus mile-an-hour wind gusts for San Bernardino, Riverside County. Look at the winds in Van Nuys right now. 12 miles an hour, still breezy. We're kind of getting a little bit of a break tonight. By tomorrow morning, around 8 a.m. or so, 7, 8 a.m., that's when we get the next round, especially, and it looks stronger for tomorrow, down around the Orange County area and off east into the IE. We'll be seeing those winds really kicking up 60-plus miles an hour. On top of it, the temperatures hit records today. We're in the 70s across the board. Long Beach hit a record. You're at 79 right now, and it is 7 o'clock. Details on the heat and how long those winds last coming up in that full 7-day forecast.
All right, we have breaking news and shocking news regarding yet another veteran broadcaster. CBS is confirming that longtime 60 Minutes correspondent Bob Simon has been killed in New York City in a car crash tonight. Simon was 73 years old. We'll have more tonight in Eyewitness News at 11 o'clock.
Two elderly brothers who disappeared while hiking near Mount Baldy are back safe. The first brother, a 70-year-old man, made his way down the mountain early today. He told rescuers his 73-year-old brother got tired and stayed behind near San Antonio Falls. The crew of the search helicopter located the older brother. Rescuers went in and walked him out. Except for some dehydration, scratches, and minor injuries, both appear to be fine.
Our church members prayed for him, and then, we believe that God answered to our prayer, and then really great people helped him.
The brothers spent the night in the wilderness where temperatures dropped into the 50s.
For the second time this week, innocent bystanders are drawn into a dangerous pursuit. This time it ended with the death of the driver. The chase started in Burbank with the suspect traveling northbound on the 5 freeway. The driver, a known violent gang member, was wanted in assault with a deadly weapon from 2 weeks ago. Police say officers in a patrol car recognized him.
He made eye contact with one of the officers.
Officers did identify themselves. They drew their firearms because they knew the suspect was known to be armed with a firearm. The suspect turned over, looked over in the direction of officers and smiled, and then continued to drive away.
At one point, the suspect rammed his truck through the gate of an apartment complex, injuring several people. The chase ended when he drove over a spike strip, but he did not get out of the truck. And when police finally approached, they say they discovered the suspect had shot and killed himself. When they opened the door, a small dog ran out. It was captured, and it is now in the care of animal control.
OC Animal Care is searching for good homes for dozens of rabbits seized from a Santa Ana garage. As Orange County Bureau Chief Eileen Frere reports, the owner says she started with just one bunny, but that things quickly got out of control.
Tiny rabbits, just days old, gingerly handled by a woman who only wants to be identified as Blanca. Nearby, more than 30 rabbits crammed into small cages.
There is a pretty overwhelming smell inside, and I'm talking very small cages, more like what you would keep a bird in other than a mammal.
Blanca lives in this 200-square-foot detached garage with the rabbits.
There's a lot of urine-soaked blankets, and she sleeps on the floor. So it's definitely not a healthy situation for her to be in.
Outside the Santa Ana home, more rabbits recently discovered by police in the area on another matter.
They noticed that all these rabbits were in the back, so they notified our dispatch, which notified us this morning that we had a possible hoarder.
Blanca says she has about 60 altogether. She started with just one. Speaking in Spanish, she says once the rabbit got older, she let it outside. Soon it met a mate. The rabbits started multiplying. Only 4 rabbits are allowed by law per household.
She said she was afraid to call us because she thought she'd be arrested, so she just let it keep going until it's got to this point.
Santa Ana Police Animal Services are rescuing the rabbits. They'll be taken to OC Animal Care to be assessed. Officers say so far the animals appear to be healthy. They don't expect Blanca will face criminal charges. Now, the rabbits are being cared for at OC Animal Care. We're told that there is limited space there, so they're hoping to find people that would like to adopt rabbits. If you're interested, call OC Animal Care at 714-796-6426 if you can help. In Santa Ana, Eileen Frere, ABC 7 Eyewitness News.
Caught on video, a man stealing mail from apartment mailboxes in Glendale. Watch as the suspect uses a metal tool to pry open the mailboxes on the 200 block of North Kenwood Street. He then searches through the mail, takes some items, and puts them in his pocket. Last month, there were similar thefts of apartment mailboxes pried open. It's unclear if this man seen in the video is responsible for those other thefts. Fountain Valley Police are asking for the public's help identifying a robber who targeted a 7-Eleven store on Warner Avenue. Surveillance cameras captured these photos of the suspect, who appears to be holding a gun wrapped in black cloth. The suspect got away with an undisclosed amount of cash. No vehicle was seen. And if you recognize this man, you're urged to call police.
Rap mogul Suge Knight is facing a new felony charge. He appeared in court today for a hearing unrelated to the incident last month when he allegedly ran over 2 men, killing one of them. At the hearing, LA County prosecutors added a charge of criminal threats related to an incident last year when he and comedian Cat Williams allegedly stole a camera from a paparazzo in Beverly Hills. Knight remains in jail, currently being held without bail. A house painter accused of ambushing and shooting a San Diego sports anchor is behind bars after surrendering to police. They took 54-year-old Mike Montana into custody in El Cajon last night, hours after Kyle Kraska was shot in front of his Scripps Ranch home. Montana faces attempted murder charges. Kraska was shot in the leg and stomach as he was pulling out of his driveway. After undergoing emergency surgery, he is expected to make a full recovery. Police say Montana was in a dispute with Kraska over work done at the sportscaster's house.
President Obama is urging Congress to pass a new War Powers Act to authorize military action against ISIS. In one of his strongest statements yet, the president says the Islamic State is going to lose. Despite the president's strong words, there is skepticism on Capitol Hill. And Eyewitness News reporter Alex Michelson is in our newsroom with more. Alex?
David, this announcement comes one day after the confirmation that American aid worker Kayla Mueller was killed by ISIS. The president now wants to step up U.S. efforts against the group.
President Obama is formally asking Congress to pass a resolution giving him more latitude to fight ISIS. A draft of an authorization and a letter from the president are now in the hands of lawmakers.
This resolution reflects our core objective to destroy ISIL.
The resolution would authorize 3 years of operation, places no geographic limits on the campaign, and bans enduring combat operations.
It is not the authorization of another ground war, like Afghanistan. At the same time, this resolution strikes the necessary balance by giving us the flexibility we need for unforeseen circumstances.
Some Republicans say this doesn't go far enough. Among them, the Speaker of the House.
I'm not sure that the strategy that's been outlined will accomplish the mission the president says he must accomplish.
Some Democrats worry the resolution is too broad, including Congressman Adam Schiff of Burbank.
The language pertaining to ground troops, which is very broad, very ambiguous. None of us really know what enduring offensive combat operations means.
I believe this resolution can grow even stronger with the thoughtful and dignified debate that this moment demands. I'm optimistic that it can win strong bipartisan support.
But it'll likely take some time before any proposal could gain bipartisan support. A vote in Congress is not expected for several more months. Reporting live from the newsroom, Alex Michelson, ABC 7 Eyewitness News.
Alex, thank you. A big announcement today from Lieutenant Governor Gavin Newsom saying he plans to start fundraising for a run for governor in 2018. The announcement comes as no surprise. Just last month, the 47-year-old Democrat said he would forego a chance to run for Senate, suggesting this campaign was already in the works. With nearly 4 years to go before the election, he says starting early allows him to avoid courting large donors, such as special interest groups.
The earlier you start, you can broaden that base. You don't have to necessarily rely on some of those traditional means of fundraising, and it gives you more time to find the poetry of the process, which is the principle. It's the why. It's what's the policy rationale? What's the big idea? Why should we care?
Other potential Democratic candidates include billionaire climate activist Tom Steyer and former L.A. Mayor Antonio Villaraigosa.
Still headed out with this news, the puzzling word search that's raising eyebrows and blood pressures for parents.
Also, time is running out to buy your ticket for the Powerball drawing. Could you be the next half-billionaire?
And success today for Hawthorne-based SpaceX, but there was a slight change in plans regarding today's launch.
And Duck Dynasty goes from the small screen to the live stage. That story when we return.
Liftoff. The Falcon takes flight. Our plan
A space observatory inspired by former Vice President Al Gore is on its way. This was the third launch attempt in 4 days for the SpaceX Falcon 9 rocket. The observatory will be stationed 1 million miles from Earth. It'll provide early warning of solar storms that could disrupt power and communications. SpaceX canceled plans to try to recover the booster by landing it on an ocean-going platform.
It's exciting. Are you feeling the heat, David?
Yeah.
We're talking about the Powerball fever.
We all have it. The big Powerball jackpot has grown to $500 million. That's with a B. And the drawings is tonight about 40 minutes from now. And Eyewitness News reporter Rob Hayes takes a look at this monster jackpot.
Apparently last weekend's $394 million jackpot just wasn't enough to draw out a winner. But with the current payoff sitting at $500 million, that's just not a big deal.
It's a very big deal.
Tonight's Powerball jackpot, not a record, but it is the third largest in Powerball history, and that is more than enough to spark a buying frenzy. That means if the folks here at A&S Liquor in North Hollywood sell the winning Powerball ticket, they'll collect a percentage of the jackpot, plus a potential boost in future sales.
If we are a lucky retailer, people start coming in and looking just specifically for those lucky retailers.
But it's lucky customers that are needed to collect the big prize.
$500 million. That'll work, I guess. That'll cover it.
Some came specifically to buy the winning tickets, by the handful.
So altogether 8. So how many will win? All of mines are going to win.
For others, though, a trip to the Powerball machine was a spur-of-the-moment decision.
Why not? I'm already in here. $500 million. Why not take a risk?
Why not? Well, because your odds of winning can be statistically rounded down to 0. But lottery fans like Chet Todd are eternally hopeful.
I've been buying the lotto since it came out. It hadn't hit yet. But well, maybe with your help, huh? Help me, guys.
Now, tonight's drawing is slated for 7:59, but the Powerball machines shut down at 7 o'clock, which means if you haven't gotten your ticket already, it's too late for this jackpot. In North Hollywood, Rob Hayes, ABC 7 Eyewitness News.
Giving it up, how I'm going to give it.
If we win, we'll share with you if you weren't able to get a get a
maybe
ticket.
with you too, Jonathan, if you're lucky.
Got 20% for David.
20%
of the winnings, yeah.
Okay.
Of course, that's coming out of a 1% that I'm going to be sharing.
Right.
So you get 20% of 1%.
Get 20% of 1%.
This is called, it's an algorithm. We're going to have to post this for my winnings. That's
I
how
see
I
a 50 for me.
That's a 50. That's
$5 million.
generous.
20% of $5 million. Okay, that's about $1 million. Thank you. You just offered me $1 million.
All right, let's see what's happening outside with the weather. We've got temperatures to talk about. We had record heat today in Long Beach. We had some high clouds. Kind of kept the temps hampered a bit in some spots, but nevertheless, we did break a couple. And Long Beach was one of those with, wow, let's check it out right here, 87 degrees. San Gabriel hit 88, 89 in Hawthorne, and there you go, 90 degrees John Wayne, and Wrightwood 55. So temperatures will be about the same tomorrow. You might vary a degree or two. Expect the heat still. The question is, will the winds still be as gusty as they were today or gustier? Well, it looks like they're going to be out. In Long Beach right now, the winds are only at 6, but you head inland to the Van Nuys area, you have winds still at 12 miles an hour, a breezy night. Tomorrow morning, the winds will come back as the sun comes up, and we'll see about another 45-mile-an-hour wind gust kind of morning for the LA and Ventura County area, for the mountains and down through the passes and valleys. This is where we're going to really want to focus as far as the strongest winds is down here in the IE, and you're going to be seeing temperatures as well very hot. It's 75 in Ontario. You head over to Burbank at 73. Riverside is 68, and 81 still in Santa Ana. I mean, that's your current temperature. Very warm, hot. And, yeah, I know. We're almost at Valentine's Day, and it shouldn't be feeling like that. We've got the low pressure off to our east we've been looking at. We have an area high pressure here just to our west. In between, the difference in pressure, gradients as we call them, from high to low, we get those winds coming around like that as a result, and the bigger the difference between the two, the stronger the winds end up. And it looks like we've got about another day, day and a half, where these two features will hang tight. And that means about another day, day and a half for some gusty conditions, and that's why the wind advisory goes into effect, or is in effect, I should say, remains there through Thursday at 2 p.m. for the LA County, the San Gabriel Valley area, and then as you head up here into the Ventura County mountains as well. The high wind warning, which means the winds would be stronger in this area for the San Bernardino and Riverside County valleys, That's for the IE. The high wind warning goes through Friday at 10 a.m. So you got a little bit of a stretch there for more of these gusty conditions, and it can show you that right here in the future winds. Look at this pocket of some strong gusts here tomorrow at 10 a.m., and then they back off as you go through Thursday night, and they'll probably kick in once again by Friday morning, but not as bad. So we got about another day and a half here, some strong winds and some really warm weather, which actually extends all the way through the weekend. A few clouds, that's it. No rain, unfortunately. We're talking just warmth and breezes. 7-day forecast for the Valley's IE, 88, 90, windy, and hot. Next week, we got 70s around. That's the best I can do. Beaches look like it's going to be warm, sunny, and dry. A little breezy at times, not too bad. The mountains, though, you get winds kicking up for the next day, and temperatures around 60 or so. And the high desert, let's check you out here, lower to mid-70s for a few days, and the winds around as well for you. More weather coming up in a few minutes. Back to you guys.
All right, Jonathan, thank you. Yep. For about 20 minutes, fans of the TV series House of Cards thought they'd been dealt a winning hand. Without warning today, the Netflix website made Season 3 of the show available 16 days earlier than scheduled. Fans on social media were thrilled with the news and then disappointed because Netflix quickly pulled it from the site. Netflix says it was a technical error, and the House of Cards Twitter account wrote, "This is Washington. There's always a leak. All 13 episodes will launch February 27th.
Well, here's an unlikely combo, Duck Dynasty and a musical. It's happening. The show's producers say you'll get the usual family antics seen on the show, the good, the bad, and the in-between. The song and dance production is being called Duck Commander Musical. It'll be 90 minutes retelling the story of the Robertson family's rags to riches history. It's scheduled to open at the Rio Hotel in Las Vegas for 8 shows a week beginning April 15th.
And more big names added today to the list of presenters for Oscar Sunday, and we'll see Kevin Hart, Jessica Chastain, Shirley MacLaine, and Ben Affleck take the stage in some form or fashion. But that's not all. Also signing on to help host Neil Patrick Harris are Miles Teller, Chris Pine, Naomi Watts, and Viola Davis.
Up next, was it a school word search or a sex ed lesson?
We'll show you the puzzle that is angering a lot of parents. How did it get into the hands of students?
And chocolate lovers, beware why some of you may want to think twice before you take that bite of dark chocolate. Parents in a Pennsylvania school district are turning red with anger after 8th graders received a 50 Shades of Grey word search puzzle. The puzzles were handed out in class. At least 5 students got them. The words came from the erotic novel and upcoming movie. All are suggestive, to say the least. Some of them are even too vulgar to show you. Upset parents complained at last night's school board meeting.
He's searching up. I asked my son who passed it out. He said the teacher passed it out.
The school board didn't offer much of an explanation, saying the incident is under investigation and it is a personnel matter, but one school board member called this a huge yet unintentional error.
Planning on giving your sweetheart dark chocolate for Valentine's Day? If they've got a milk allergy, you may want to hold off. A new FDA study shows some bars of dark chocolate contain milk. Although dark chocolate isn't generally made with milk, researchers found out 2 out of 17 dark chocolate bars that were labeled dairy-free actually contain trace amounts of milk. Experts say milk may show up in dark chocolate if it's manufactured with the same equipment as milk chocolate.
Well, it's appetizing, though.
Yeah, it does.
We're updating this evening's top stories next at 7:30.
Also a warning, if you use e-cigarettes, they can explode and cause serious injuries. The latest on the incident that happened in Orange County.
And the LA County Sheriff's Department is looking for a few good women. Do you have what it takes?
Live from ABC 7, this is Eyewitness News at 7:30 p.m. on LA 56.
Our top story at 7:30, the howling Santa Ana winds sweeping across Southern California. I'm Rudabeh Shabazi.
I'm David Dona. This is Eyewitness News on LA 56, LA's only live local newscast at 7 p.m. The gusty, warm, and dry northeast winds have brought summer-like conditions that are expected to last through Saturday. The winds are also making driving tricky, especially in the Inland Empire. Meanwhile, the Weather Service says moisture levels in the vegetation remain above normal, offsetting the potential for any large wildfires.
OC Animal Care is looking for good homes for dozens of rabbits seized from a garage in Santa Ana. Police stumbled upon the animals, quickly discovering about 60 bunnies crammed into small cages. The owner, identified only as Blanca, was even living in the garage with them. She says she started with just one rabbit, but that the situation got out of control when she let it outside and it found a mate. Animal control officers say the rabbits appear to be in good health. Blanca is not expected to face any charges.
While many people use electronic e-cigarettes to help them quit smoking, now there are reports across the country that e-cigarettes have exploded, causing severe burns. Eyewitness News reporter Miriam Hernandez takes a look at one explosion that occurred in Anaheim Hills.
An alarming moment because it was so unexpected. A young man inside this house was holding an electronic cigarette. The next thing the smoker knew, it blew to bits.
For all intents and purposes, exploded, fragmenting into many pieces in the room.
An occupant of the house tells us it burned a hole in the wall and the carpet, but the worst of it was to the 17-year-old smoker himself.
The 17-year-old boy had an injury to his hand, and they decided to go to the hospital and seek treatment.
No nicotine in these, which many people use to break their smoking habit. The potential hazard is inside the plastic cigarette, a lithium battery. Federal officials are tracking incidents of electronic cigarette fires and explosions across the nation. Their data is gathered from media reports like this one. It knocked out teeth and tore out part of the tongue of a Florida man. According to FEMA, there are 25 reports of injuries in the last 5 years. Most of the incidents happened while the battery was charging. The injuries can be serious. Second-degree burns in another case, and in another, battery acid to the mouth, face, and eyes. FEMA says that many users convert the smokes to use marijuana or hash oil. That was not the case here.
What we've conducted was a preliminary investigation into circumstances to ensure that there was no criminal culpability on the part of any parties involved. We did not determine that there was any.
Federal officials say the injuries from these are very rare. Still, 2.5 million Americans are using them now, and the numbers are growing, as well as the concerns. Reporting from Anaheim Hills, Miriam Hernandez, ABC 7 Eyewitness News.
Testimony is underway in the trial of a man accused of killing real-life American sniper Chris Kyle at a Texas gun range. Kyle's widow, Taya, was the first to take the stand. She broke down as she described the last time she saw her husband alive. The defendant, Eddie Routh, is accused of shooting Kyle and his friend Chad Littlefield in 2013. His attorney is presenting an insanity defense, saying Routh suffered from PTSD. The trial is expected to last about 2 weeks. If convicted, Routh could face life in prison. Kyle is portrayed by actor Bradley Cooper in the movie American Sniper. The murder trial for Aaron Hernandez resumed today after a 2-day delay due to heavy snow. Police officers and a firefighter who responded to the scene where the victim, Odin Lloyd's body was found, took the stand. Prosecutors also showed jurors video of the scene. Yesterday, a judge granted immunity for Hernandez's fiancée, Cheyenne Jenkins. Jenkins will now be compelled to testify or face time behind bars. She's already accused of lying to a grand jury and faces perjury charges. Meanwhile, another juror was dismissed today. The judge cited personal reasons that had nothing to do with the case.
The 911 calls have been released in a fatal car accident in Malibu involving former Olympian and reality star Bruce Jenner.
A car accident, major car accident. There looks like there's about 3 cars in it's right on PCH. Are there any injuries? I'm just passing by. We're just stopped. I'm going to say yes. It looks pretty bad.
The 4-vehicle chain reaction crash killed 69-year-old Kim Howie, who hadn't had a valid driver's license since 2007. Authorities say a Prius slowed down and was hit by Howie's Lexus. We also learned the driver of that Prius was driving on a suspended license. Jenner's Cadillac Escalade then slammed into the Lexus, sending it into oncoming traffic where it collided head-on with a Hummer. Howie died at the scene. Investigators confirmed the incident involving Bobby Christina Brown is now a criminal investigation. The 21-year-old daughter of Whitney Houston and Bobby Brown remains in a medically induced coma at Emory University Hospital in Atlanta. She was found face down in a bathtub last month. Her family has been keeping vigil at her hospital bedside. Her maternal grandmother, Sissy Houston, was spotted visiting today. Meanwhile, today marks the 3rd anniversary of the death of Whitney Houston in a bathtub at the Beverly Hilton Hotel.
Legendary college basketball coach Jerry Tarkanian has died. The Basketball Hall of Famer passed away today at the age of 84 after being hospitalized for difficulty breathing and an infection. Tarkanian led UNLV to the Final Four 4 times with a championship win in 1990. He also collected $2.5 million settlement after suing the NCAA for trying to run him out of college basketball. Dubbed Tark the Shark, the coach was also known for his habit of chewing wet towels on the sidelines. Tarkanian's 31-year career also included time at Long Beach State, Riverside City College, and Pasadena City College.
The future of the Greek Theater remains in limbo today. The LA City Council rejecting a proposal from Live Nation to run the venue. It's the latest decision in months of heated negotiations that so far have gotten no closer to deciding who will operate the site. Eyewitness News reporter Sid Garcia has more on today's decision.
Let us open the roll, close the roll, tabulate the vote.
11 ayes, 3 noes.
All right.
And with that, another round in the fight over the Greek Theater. For 2 years, Live Nation has been working on a proposal to take over the iconic theater from the current concert promoter, Nederlander AEG. Last October, the city's Recreation and Parks Department told the City Council Live Nation was the best deal for the city. Today, the council said it's time to start over. Both concert promoters say they'll spend millions giving the Greek a much-needed facelift.
Everyone selected Live Nation based on the facts. More money, more shows, more improvements to the Greek Theater, and an overall community program to put more money in for the residents of the city of Los Angeles.
Under our stewardship, the Greek Theater is now the largest single revenue generator for the Department of Recreations and Parks. Our success has been built on working with the best people and becoming part of the surrounding communities.
Nederlander gained strong support from the neighborhoods surrounding the Greek, saying they like the way Nederlander has treated them. But the idea of starting over struck a sour note with some council members.
Calling out all businesses, come to Los Angeles, apply for a contract, be a part of the request for proposal. But at the bottom of the 9th inning, there's your proposal.
And even though it's up to Live Nation and Nederlander to win who runs the theater for the next 20 years, City Council already indicated lawsuits are going to come out of this, so it may be a judge who decides who runs the iconic venue. In Griffith Park, Sid Garcia, ABC 7 Eyewitness News.
The ports of Los Angeles and Long Beach will be partially shut down for 4 of the next 5 days as a labor dispute continues. The Pacific Maritime Association, which represents port employers, says activities will be suspended tomorrow, which is Lincoln's birthday, and again Saturday, Sunday, and Monday, which is President's Day. This is so companies will not be forced to pay holiday and weekend salaries to union workers. The workers are accused of slowing port operations during the contract dispute. The International Longshore and Warehouse Union denies any such effort.
Los Angeles Sheriff's Department is hiring and is specifically looking for more women to join the force. Eyewitness News reporter Melissa McBride gives us an inside look at what it takes to become a deputy.
If you want to be a sheriff's deputy, you have to pass the physical agility test. Men and women perform the same drills in the same amount of time.
The failure rate on this for female applicants the first time they take it is 60%. Ready and go.
So I decided to see if I have what it takes. I do 20 full push-ups in 60 seconds. The next drill simulates a foot pursuit.
Straight across, over the curve, spread it out, past the finish line.
I run it in about 18 seconds. My arm strength with resistance is put to the test.
Make sure your elbows maintain contact with your thighs.
Then come the sit-ups. No crunches here. I do 35 in 1 minute. The next test is running 1.5 miles. That's 6 laps around the track as fast as you can.
Excellent, excellent.
What'd you get?
12:30.
Applicants also practice pulling the trigger of an unloaded handgun.
All right, fire.
and hold a rifle for 60 seconds, but those firearm drills don't factor into whether you pass or fail.
You passed the test. You did excellent. You did awesome. Your scores were good all down the line.
It is a little bit more difficult for women to pass this test, so we do encourage women. We go into college campuses looking for women who are interested in this career. We go to gyms, local gyms, where we know we're going to find physically fit people.
Women currently make up 18% of the Sheriff's Department. About 25% of the applicants are women, all hoping to make it into the academy and make a difference on the job.
There are a lot of needs for women in the field. There's, women suspects, and they need to be handled. And sometimes it's definitely more understandable when you have a woman on site.
I would like to go to try out for a SWAT team or homicide. That's my ultimate goal.
The department will hire at least 370 new recruits this year. Several thousand will apply. In Norwalk, Melissa McBride, ABC 7 Eyewitness News.
Still ahead, getting ready for the red carpet. We'll show you how the stars do it.
And a local radio DJ's voice and heart saved by a new medical technology. Could this help you?
Well, certainly didn't feel like February, did it? Winds were really gusty today. I will tell you how long they stick around, and those temperatures pushing records in your 7 days. Stick around for that.
Aneurysms have been described as a ticking time bomb inside the body. They can burst at any second, but they can sometimes be extremely difficult, even impossible to remove.
Well, now as health specialist Denise Dodor reports, with new technology, doctors at UCLA say they have successfully saved the man's heart and his voice.
You're listening to Classic Alternative on KX93.5.
Radio DJ Sandy Fagan talks all day, every day. It's his job.
I'm Sandy Fagan. They call me the Sandman. Brand new music from The Preachers. Hope you enjoyed today's show.
But last year, doctors told Sandy he had an aneurysm the size of a tennis ball growing near his heart. Repairing it would be tricky and could affect his voice.
So there was that possibility that I would lose this voice. That I didn't want.
Surgeons at UCLA used a two-part approach to treat the aneurysm. First, they rerouted circulation by connecting Sandy's right carotid artery to two nearby arteries.
There's a nerve that goes to the vocal cords, to the voice box, that runs very, very close to the carotid arteries.
They had to carefully protect Sandy's vocal cords to prevent permanent damage. Then they placed a stent in the heart to block blood flow to the aneurysm and stop the risk of a rupture.
A few months later, Sandy's aneurysm shrunk by several millimeters, and he's back in the booth with no damage to his voice.
If I had to talk like this, I wouldn't be the same person.
Sandy's aneurysm is expected to continue to shrink, and he was back to work just a few weeks after surgery. Doctors say a few years ago, patients like Sandy didn't have many options, but new technology has made it possible for them to operate on aneurysms like Sandy's. In the newsroom, Denise Tudor, ABC 7 Eyewitness News.
It's very lucky for him.
Yeah.
Well, we still have a lot more to come, including getting ready for the red carpet.
Have you ever seen a magazine spread where you've seen an actress do this to get ready for the Oscars? Well, that's not likely to work, but we have what does. I'm Lori Corbin ahead. One of the top trainers shows us how to get red carpet ready.
An LA County Sheriff's deputy has been awarded the Medal of Valor at a special ceremony in Washington, D.C. The medal was given to her by Attorney General Eric Holder and Vice President Joe Biden. Jenna Underwood Nunez was 5 months pregnant and off-duty when she rescued a teenager from drowning at the bottom of a muddy lake in 2013. He made a full recovery. This is the nation's highest honor for public safety officers.
Wow, what a commendation. Absolute. How brave is she to jump in and save somebody when she's 5.5 months pregnant?
Yeah, and a good story for her child, too.
Right. Yeah. But a lot of folks will be wanting to jump in the ocean in the next few days.
Yes, I'm not going to be at the beach, which is always evidenced by
the beautiful tan.
My lack thereof, yeah. And this is, as we know, this is a lot of makeup. Yeah, we take this off and it's just scary, folks. All right. Hey, the winds were out today. The temperatures David is referring to, just, I almost said are, like there's more than one of you. Could we handle that?
Sometimes.
Woof. That's a world right there. 85 was our high today in downtown Los Angeles. Hey, it was hot in Long Beach where we had a record of 87 in Long Beach. And tomorrow, we're going to be just as warm, give or take a degree around the area, so get ready for the heat to last for several days. 76 right now in Long Beach. Let's check out the winds right around Van Nuys. They've been about 10 to 15 tonight. I was just checking some of the observations out in the IE. Gusts about 20, 30 plus at times, but we're getting a little bit of a break right now from the winds. Tomorrow morning, they're going to kick back into full force like you had today. The wind advisory is in effect for the northern portions of the area. This goes through Thursday at 2 p.m., so the window tomorrow from about 7 or 8 a.m. until about 2 p.m., that's when things will be a little bit gusty, about 45 up around the L.A. County mountains and for the valley areas right there in Ventura County. Now, you head over to San Bernardino, Riverside County, and you are starting to see those winds really around 55, 60, kind of like what we had today for tomorrow. But not only that, that wind warning, that high wind warning lasts through Friday at 10 a.m. So you've got a little bit of a stretch here for more than a day, about a day and a half or so, to kind of be aware that these winds will still be flowing down from the mountains, that offshore flow. This is Thursday at 10 a.m. You can see here this pocket right here. That's about a 40, 45 mile an hour wind gust, but we could see those isolated gusts about 60 or more. And then they'll back off Thursday night, and then you'll have one more small round on Friday morning, but I think by then we're really starting to see things wane with the winds. But this is something that won't change over the next few days, the temperatures being really hot. 88 in Los Angeles expected for tomorrow, 85 Palm Springs, 83 Mission Viejo and in Irvine, and the IE is going to top out in the lower to mid-80s. I mean, it's going to be a hot one, folks. Just keep the water around. It's just February. You're usually not used to this type of heat, and the 7-day forecast shows you've got 3 days in the 80s. In the LA Metro and Orange County area, more winds tomorrow, especially through the canyons there as you head up to the valleys and the passes, and also seeing those winds, but up to about 55 for tomorrow. Friday, 90 for a high, 86 on Saturday, down into the 70s Sunday on, and then the beach is looking beautiful, sunshine around, just a few clouds as you go through Sunday. The mountains, gusty, temperatures around 60, give or take, down to the 50s next week. And then we'll check out real quick there the high desert. Tomorrow, winds will be around lower to mid-70s throughout that forecast. No rain, guys, just winds and warmth.
Oh, not good.
A lot of it like that.
Thanks, Jonathan.
Yep.
Sad news here. Little League Baseball has stripped the U.S. championship from Jackie Robinson West for using players who live outside the geographic area the team represents. Little League Baseball found the Chicago-based team used a falsified boundary map, and the team officials met with neighboring Little League districts in Illinois to claim players and build what amounts to a super team. Jackie Robinson West must vacate wins from the 2014 Little League World Series, including its Great Lakes Regional and United States titles. The U.S. championship has been awarded to Mountain Ridge Little League from Las Vegas. Well, the PGA Tour rolls into Pacific Palisades next week for the Northern Trust Open. Bubba Watson is the defending champ. Watson won last year's event at Riviera by making his putt on the final hole. Bubba wasn't on the golf course today, but he delivered a big win at the City of Hope National Medical Center in Duarte. The two-time Masters champ hosted a grilled cheese cook-off with patients at the City of Hope. The grilled cheese sandwich Bubba liked best will be sold during the tournament next week. The City of Hope is the official charity of the Northern Trust Open.
To be able to see what the charity dollars are going to see what they involve, and obviously to hear the numbers that the Northern Trust is putting into this and into the community is a big deal. It's a blessing and an honor to be a part of this, and obviously I get to eat grilled cheese, so it's nice.
Finally, 88-year-old Lou Dunlap has been the star at the Colorado Rockies fantasy camp. He might be old, but he won't stand for any nonsense, as evident here. He attempts to charge the mound after ball 4 is a little high and tight. The refs cut him off. Dunlap helped his team win the fantasy camp title, and of course, he was named the MVP. Way to go.
Well, if you're trying to get in shape for Oscar Sunday, most any trainer will tell you you're too late.
The start of the new year launches what's known as the award season, and most smart celebrities have already got their game on. Food and fitness coach Lori Corbin found just what it takes to get ready, and red carpet ready, that is.
It can be a tough turnaround to look your best right after the holidays. So many celebs turn to this man to get the job done.
Hopefully, they're not coming last minute and trying to fix this on the fly.
Jennifer Lopez, Sofia Vergara, and Kim Kardashian have all turned to Gunnar Peterson to help walk the red carpet without fear. Celebrity or not, he demands a lot of his clients.
That whole soft hand kid glove thing doesn't really fly.
For women, he's a big fan of weights.
I push all the girls to lift a lot of weight. Women need to lift weights, bone density, osteoporosis.
As for fears of bulking up, most don't eat enough calories, push hard enough, or stay at it long enough
enough for that to happen. Yet strength training provides that fat-burning effect and tone they want. Peterson also offers key components for when they're not in the gym with him. First up, put down the juice and pick up a fork. Here's why.
Not only calorically are you going to be at a deficit, but you're going to be lacking other nutrients that you may need to give 100% in the workout.
But do pass on carbohydrate extras. Focus on protein and produce for this time period.
Along with nutrition and fitness, there are two other elements that you're going to want to focus on: stress reduction and sleep.
If your stress levels are peaking, your cortisol levels are high, your body is breaking down, you've got to counter that with exercise, with sleep, and with good nutrition.
Why sleep?
They've got to rest, they've got to recover. It's the one they overlook.
The bottom line:
make good choices at the table, make sure you're getting enough sleep, make sure you're hydrating.
His hydration equation: 1 ounce per pound of body weight, which is more than you're most likely getting. Lori Corbin, ABC 7 Eyewitness News.
Good tip. Morning is straight ahead here at 7:30 and ahead tonight on Eyewitness News at 11 on ABC 7. A high-speed chase that ends with a crash and a mom who takes matters into her own hands. Plus, how these adorable puppies become life-changing companions for the blind. And our reporter puts on a blindfold and tries out the training process. These stories and all the late-breaking news on Southern California's #1 late-night newscast, Eyewitness News at 11 on ABC 7.
A Northern California city has unveiled some pretty quirky street signs to get drivers to slow down and improve safety along a busy road. One says 35. It's a speed limit, not a suggestion. Another reads, heads up, cross the street, then update Facebook. The signage went up 2 weeks ago as part of a pilot program in the city of Hayward. Each sign cost the city about $200. A total of 7 signs were installed.
Love that. With Valentine's Day just around the corner, an unscientific look at how couples meet. An Associated Press WeTV poll asked about the most common way U.S. couples get together. Friends played matchmaker in a fourth of serious relationships. The couples married or are in committed relationships say friends introduced them. Looking for love at school and work also remains popular. Less than 10% of serious couples say they met at a bar or a party, and about the same percent say they used a dating website or app. Meetings at religious services are also close behind.
I'm always searching the makeup room.
I'll keep that in mind.
Yeah. I'll keep looking. Thanks for joining us for Eyewitness News at 7:30 and LA 56 Law and Order SVU is coming up next on LA 56.
Have a great night.